Hello everyone and welcome on a new Coach Step Academy Lab Guide. I'm Corentin Guinez, driver for Simmercy, and today we are around Suzuka for the week 3 of the Falcon Tire Sports Car Challenge. As you can see, we are using the AMG GT4. As usual, first I go with the hot lap and then we'll talk together about the different details about the combo, including a look at Delta. So yep, let's get started. Alright guys, so here we go for the lap around Suzuka. So we just crossed the start finish line and then we are starting the long descent to T1. So first thing to do is to move the car to the left, and then as braking reference for T1, just looking at the exit road. So it does, I guess, match the 50 bar on the left, but I guess this is a bit easier to use the beginning of or the end of the exit road, because your vision is basically closer to the track. Because if you have to look at the board on the left, you have to then look left and then quickly look to the right. So yeah, best thing is to just look at the things who are the closest from the racing line. So basically just looking at the exit road. If I'm looking at Delta, as you can see, when I will go into turn 1, I will start to brake at the exit road, and then I will just go sort of deep, but I'm not going too deep on the brake because I don't wanna mess up with the ABS. I want to stay off the ABS. I want to get quite quite a good rotation as well. So yeah, and at the same time, I don't want to kill that much the momentum, because then I wanna make sure I can go, if I remove Delta, I wanna make sure I can go outside, like close to the curb, after getting by the T1. So yeah, as you can see, around 60%. Then once I'm getting past the apex, I'm just releasing the throttle, playing a bit around with the brakes, just trying to make sure I can slow down a bit the car if I feel I need to, and then just a tiny bit of braking here and there to just put the car in the right position for the exit, but then early on throttle. So yeah, if we are looking at this into the game, as you can see on the brake, just around 60%, releasing the brake when I'm getting past the apex, playing a bit around with the brakes, getting the curb on the outside, then a bit of braking to put the car into the right line, and then as you can see, very early on power, trying to make sure I'm being patient on the outside, on the exit, because it's really easy to get some wheel spin or getting sideways, and yeah, just waiting that the steering is almost fully open. As you can see, steering fully open, full on throttle, using the curb on the outside, and then we are starting the S's, so putting the car to the right, just a bit of throttle, I would say, on the entry. No braking, just a little bit on the entry, but yeah, I don't even think it's really relevant actually, so I think you can even make it without braking. As you can see, using all of the track, basically. I'm not using that much grass actually. I think you could get a bit more, but to be fair, it depends of the car. For with the Porsche, you couldn't make it. You can't make it like that for sure. If you're cutting more than what I'm doing, but yeah, with any car, if you cut like this, it's all fine. It doesn't move, and yeah, make sure you are cutting enough of this left one, because then it opens the right hander which comes just after. So as you can see, we'll just release the throttle, getting a bit on the brake to get the rotation. Then once I'm on the apex, going back on throttle, trying to make sure I'm not going too hard on throttle, because I don't want to end up being too close from the curb. Actually, I don't want to end up on the curb on the exit of this second turn of the S's. Just trying to keep a bit of a margin. So as you can see, maybe 1 or 2 meter from the left of margin is good enough, because then I need to prepare the next left turn. So as you can see, beginning of the curb on the left, just releasing the throttle, going a tiny bit on the brake to find the rotation. Mid corner, going on the brake to find the rotation as well and to find the momentum. As you can see, it goes uphill even more this time, so I need to make sure I can carry the momentum. Then same, trying to make sure I'm not getting too wide on the exit. Close to the beginning of the curb, or maybe when I'm getting past the curb. Yeah, as you can see, getting past the beginning of the curb. Just off throttle, going on the brake, trying to make sure I can stick to the inside. Still, I'm staying a bit longer, of course, because as you can see now it goes downhill, so you have more speed. So of course you need to keep the brakes a bit longer. But then mid corner, going on throttle, trying to make sure I'm not going too deep on throttle, because once again, I don't want to end up going too wide on the exit. I almost need to clip the grass on the right side, even if you don't need to. You don't have. It's better if you don't clip the grass, basically, because then you will get sideways on the entry. But it's just to explain how close you should be when you are entering the long left, which comes right after the end of the right one. As you can see, with throttle, bringing the car to the right side, close of the grass. I mean, yeah, could be closer, but yeah, it's safe, I would say. It's safe to not get into the grass. Then yeah, for this right one, when you are putting the car to the right, just releasing the throttle, just making sure you can same, not going too wide, I would say, on the exit, because then if you are going too wide, you can clip the curb, which doesn't feel really good sometimes. And then if the car gets a bit unstable, you are going to lose quite a lot of time, because it doesn't look like it, but you can lose like easily 1/10 or 1.5 tenths or half a tenth. It depends of how bad you are exiting this corner, but it's very easy to lose some time. And also because if you are going too wide and then you are just playing with the steering, you won't be able to get back to the inside, which makes you gain as well sometimes. So yeah. So as you can see, off throttle, a bit of lift, I would say, not off throttle, but a bit of lift. And then when I'm facing the exit, going fully on throttle, trying to get a bit of curbing, but like I said, not going too wide, because if you are really using the wall curb, like if you are really using this green bit, then it's, yeah, it doesn't feel good. Like for me, it's not consistent. Sometimes it feels alright, I would say, and then sometimes it's completely all over the place, and I will end up losing a lot of time. So yeah, I just prefer to keep a bit of a margin. Then out of this one, steering to the left, trying to make sure I can shorten the distance. So I'm just trying to get as close as I can from the left side of the track. Then at the 50 board, looking at the 50, just, I would say, when I'm getting 10 meters away from the 50, it's just a reference, because this is the most obvious thing you can use as a braking reference. But yeah, I know that I need to brake maybe 10 meters before. So looking at the 50, I will brake maybe 10 meters before. I would say it's fair to say it's 10 meter, I guess. Then I will just go on the brake for this one. If I'm looking at Delta, don't have the map, so it's tough to say if it's this one. I guess it's this one. It must be this one. So as you can see, not braking that much, same around 60%. We'll see if it does much. Yeah, I think it's this one. It would make sense because then just after that we have the big braking. This should be the hairpin. So yeah, I think we are good. So yeah, as you can see, not a big braking, just making sure I can slow down the car and then straight away releasing the brake, so then I can just get the rotation, and at the same time I don't wanna lose the momentum, because then as you can see from the exit of this one to the entry of the next one, you have quite a distance. So then if you are slowing down too much the car, you are going to lose time. So yeah, just before 10 meters before the 50, going on the brakes around 60%, getting as much curb as I can. So basically I just need to make sure I keep the left wheels almost away from the curbing. So if I'm showing you from the chase, then getting down, getting a bit further behind. So yeah, as you can see, I'm not really going over the biggest part of the curb. Like I stay almost in the flat spot of the curb. So just basically between the white line and the edge of the curbing. So yeah, I'm just better, because if you go with the four wheels on the curb, first I think you're gonna get the off track, and then it's really going to upset the car, and yeah, it's not going to feel, you are not going to really feel at ease, and especially because you are entering a very tricky part, I would say, of the track, because then you need to go on the curb on the left side, and this one can also feel a bit tricky sometimes with the car. It can feel quite bouncy and not really comfortable, especially when you go on the brake. So if you arrive with the car being all over the place, coming from that curb, then it's really going to be a nightmare to have a good approach for the next right one. So yeah, as you can see, early on throttle, when I'm on the curb, on throttle, moving the car to the left, trying to make sure I can keep at least the right wheel on the white line. So then this means I'm sort of safe with the track limit. But then if I go with the four wheels over this white line, then I will get the off track. As you can see, early on throttle. So if I'm looking at delta, I don't think I'm braking that heavily. I would say around 70%. So it's so far the biggest breaking point, but at the same time it's not so heavy. I'm not really feeling the ABS, so it's still really good. And yeah, same for this one. I'd rather brake a bit earlier than braking too late, and then I will just basically lose all the momentum on the exit. So yeah, as you can see, once I'm settled on the curb, I'm just releasing the throttle, going on the brake. Then when I'm getting close of the end of the curb, turning to the right, releasing the brake. I think I'm dropping to second for this one. Yeah, I'm dropping to second for this one, as you can see. Then getting the curb on the inside. I mean, most of the time I will I'm tending to not take the full curb on the inside, especially if you are using as well the Porsche. The Porsche doesn't feel good at all when you are, or at least it's not consistent when you are getting on the green part of this curbing. So from my experience, I would say I will just leave it to the red and white curve. For me, that's the most consistent way to take this corner. So yeah, just I prefer to just take the red and white curve. Then getting into the corner just before the apex, going on throttle, trying to find the rotation, steering fully open, fully on throttle. Same for the exit of this corner. Just make sure you're not going too wide. So leave the right wheels on the edge of the red and white curve. So do not go. I would say on the second half of this curve with the right wheels. Otherwise, you would get the off track. I'm guessing. Then approaching the hairpin just after that, getting to the left, and then diving into the right, this right one. Then just trying to make sure I can get the car as straight as I can. So that's why I'm really putting the car to the very left, because then I can dive into the corner, put the car straight. So then I have a braking a car fully straight for the braking. And as you can see on Delta, it's a big braking zone, braking around close to 90, I would say 90, 87 peak on the brake. So yeah, that's why it's important to have the car straight, because if I'm having the car a bit on the right or a bit to the left, then it's not going to be as good on the brake. So yeah, as you can see, quite a big braking, dropping to first, then releasing the brake when I'm on the apex, and then I'm just going on throttle, trying to make sure I can get the rotation. Of course, I'm not going to dip on throttle because I don't want to have oversteer on the exit. So I'm just waiting the steering being more open. It's not fully open, but it's I would say nicely open to go full throttle. Then using the curbing on the outside, this helps me actually to open the steering a bit more on the exit, because if I want to, I mean, there are no reason to avoid the curb on the exit, but yeah, if I was not using the curb on the exit, I would need to have the steering I would say with more angles. So yeah, then we are getting past this hairpin. Then we are going to go into spoon, so the double left, which is quite tricky, I would say. Not so easy because it's off camber, so you really need to make sure you are not going too fast, especially into the second left of spoon. So as a braking reference, just using the road, the exit road on the right side. So yeah, same as I guess it's before Degner. I hope I'm not messing up with the name of the corners, but yeah, the kink just before the right ender, which where you have the bridge just after that. So this right one, the kink, where we've taken quite a lot of curb. Just same as this corner, just brake a bit before your actual reference. So yeah, this time it's maybe 5 meter, but yeah, same, just brake a bit before. If I'm looking at Delta, I guess it must be this one. So yeah, as you can see, braking around 60% until I'm getting the apex. So as you can see, around 60% or so. And then when I'm getting into the corner, raising the brake with third gear, just getting back on throttle when I'm leaving this one, so then I can get to the outside of the track. So trying to touch the curb on the outside, as you can see, putting the right wheels on the right side of the curb, leaving the left wheels on the left side of the white line, or at least on the white line. And then as you can see, once I'm on the curb, I'm not trying to keep going on throttle. Once I'm settled like that, I'm just leaving the throttle, going on the brake, still with third, then just trying to like find the rotation on throttle. And then as you can see, on throttle, almost fully on throttle, the steering is fully straight, just right there. Then as you can see, getting all of the curbing on the outside, on the exit. Very important to not go too early, I would say, on the curb, because then if I'm getting on the curb, like I would say, if I'm getting wider like this with the right wheels, almost clipping this line on the AstroTurf, then I would get the off track. So yeah, it's very important to not go too wide too early, because then you will get the off track. So yeah, then we're going to go into the 130R. So just going to the left so far, trying to shorten the distance. Then I will move to the right, and then for the 130R, I don't know if I'm seeing this on Delta, but yeah, this is actually um, the 130R just right there. So as you can see, I'm just putting a little bit of brake on the entry to really put the nose into the corner. So I'm just lifting a little bit, but then I'm building the momentum again with the throttle, gaining back some speed. So yeah, as you can see, we look at the 50, getting past the 50, releasing the throttle, just a tiny bit of brake on the entry to bring the nose into the corner. And then, as you can see, early on throttle, just before entering into the corner, just before getting into the corner, on throttle, getting the curb on the left side, and then I'm going fully on throttle, using all of the curb on the outside. Just make sure you are not putting the edge, not really right. Just make sure you're not riding the edge of the curb. That's what I mean. I was talking about edge of tire or stuff, but yeah, just make sure you are staying away from the edge of this curb, because if you do that, you're just going to end up going on the left side, just meet the tire wall and the gravel on the left side. So yeah, just make sure you're not running this edge of the curb. I know what I'm saying, because I'm just the best customer of the edge of the curb. Like all the time, I'm getting the edge of the curb, I'm just dying on the left, so meeting the 150 on the left. So yeah, just make sure you don't do that mistake. So then nothing really complicated, like I said, off the curb, fully on throttle, using all of the curbing, not the edge, of course. Then you need to move to the left, prepare the last 1 or 2 corners, including the chicane. So as you can see, you have the 150. I think I'm braking at 140 or something, or I'm just braking. I would say, yeah, maybe 140, 135. As you can see, I'm quite far away from the 100, and I'm already lifting. So yeah, I guess 140, I think. So 140, going on the brake, deep on the brake. So as you can see, if I'm looking at delta, I'm braking at yeah, 92%. So it's EV braking zone. But then as you can see, once I reach the peak and I'm getting into the corner or close to the corner, then I will release actually release the brake, so then I can get the rotation. So as you can see, releasing the brake when I'm starting to turn to the right, just releasing the brake, getting the rotation. As you can see, as a track limit, I would say just leave a bit of a margin with the left wheels. I think if I'm getting I put the left wheels on the white line, then I will most likely get the off track. So yeah, better keeping a bit of a margin. If you are looking at this inside the car into the cockpit, it pretty much looks like this. So yeah, it goes really fast, but yeah, it looks like I'm cutting a fair amount, but I'm not cutting that much at the same time. But yeah, I guess you will find out during the practice. It's tough to really give just like that. Yeah, it says they are not giving any info as well on the track limit. So yeah, as you can see, just leaving the left wheels off the white line, so I keep a decent margin, I would say. Then yeah, just a tiny bit before getting on the curb, as you can see, getting on throttle, same. I'm not trying to floor it too early, because it wouldn't make sense first, because I guess you would get with speed, and same because you need to prepare as well the next left one. So as you can see, this time as well, cutting a fair amount, really opening the steering very early, as you can see. That's why as well I'm trying to get this one tight, because then I want to make sure once I'm off this curb, as you can see, I'm being really quick on the steering wheel, trying to open it, because as well, once you pretty much have to take this curb. But yeah, the car tends to bounce a tiny bit, I would say, when you are getting off the curb. So yeah, if you are bouncing a little bit on the outside, of course you wanna be you wanna get a lot of momentum on the exit of this one, because you have the long straight after that. So you don't really want to lose time on the exit. So you are going to really throw it really early. Of course, if you add the full throttle with a bit of bounce, and at the same time a bit of steering angle, then you are going most likely to be close of getting a spin, or at least you are going to get sideways a little bit, I would say. So yeah, by getting this one a bit tighter, then I can open the steering a bit faster, and then I can get full throttle without, as you can see, having the car any tricky, I would say. And then yeah, I have a cool run for the this right one. So same for this right one, trying to stay as tight as I can. And then yeah, I will just cross the start finish line, and we're done for the lap around Suzuka. Alright everyone, we are done for today. That was the week 3 lap guide of the Falcon Tire Sports Car Challenge at Suzuka with the AMG GT4. I hope you learned quite a lot from this lap guide. Of course, that's the main target when we are making this kind of content. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and join the Discord server if you have any questions about all the work we are making. We are just answering everything if we can, but of course we should be able to answer all of your questions. And yeah, I see you next week for the week 4. See you next time. Bye bye.